Fantasy and Magic, more free books. Watch, listen, and complete the form on the library's Schoology page. As supplies last, we'll drop books off on your doorstep. The Court of Miracles by Kester Grant, to be released in June of 2020, but available now in advanced reader's copy. France, 1829. Paris simmers with unrest following a failed revolution. The nobility rule from behind the safety of their palace walls. But in the violent jungle of the city streets, all power is held by the wretched, a formidable court of criminals divided into 9 guilds. As a member of the Thieves' Guild, Nina Thénardier can steal anything or anyone. She defied the odds so many times she's on her way to becoming a legend among the wretched. Just as the crown prince, whom she stole from, or the revolutionary who is drawn to her hunger for justice, or the assassin who secretly longs to protect her. To the vicious guild lord known as the Tiger, Nina is a mere nuisance. When he sets his sights on her sister Cosette, nothing can stop him from having her, not the disapproval of the miracle court which governs the wretched, and not the young thief he has already bested once before. But there is one thing the Tiger did not account for, a rule that runs as true as iron and bone among the wretched: never steal from a thief. Meet the boy with an unusual problem. Auguste Dupont is mostly an average boy, a little lonely perhaps, but if you'd spent your entire life holed up in a neglected house with your, how shall we say it, nervous Aunt Hydrangea as your sole companion, you might be lonely too. Now imagine Auguste's surprise when an unexpected invitation brings him face to face with a relative he didn't even know existed. Imagine this relative is, how shall we say, a bit aloof, even while she introduces him to 2 other children and offers to change Auguste's world forever by sending him to school. Friends and school, it's a dream come true, but Auguste has scarcely begun to celebrate his reversal of fortune when he's confronted by a small problem, a small and unfortunately very dead problem. The Root of Magic by Kathleen Benner Duble. Willow knows the unknown is scary, especially since her little brother has been sick for a long time and nobody has been able to figure out why. All Willow wants is for Wisp to get better and for her life to go back to normal. But when she and her family find themselves stranded in an unusual town in the middle of nowhere, strange things start to happen, and their life begins to change in the most unexpected ways. After one too many coincidences, Willow discovers that the town isn't just unusual, it's magical. When her family begins to embrace the town, she finds new friends and hidden truths that aren't as simple as they seem. Then Willow must decide, return home and leave the magic behind, or stay forever. In the Cerulean Empire, affinities are reviled. Their varied gifts to control the world around them are unnatural, dangerous. And Anastasia Mikhailov, the crown princess, has a secret. Her deadly affinity to blood is her curse and the reason she has lived her life hidden behind palace walls. When Anna's father, the emperor, is murdered, her world is shattered. Framed as his killer, Anna must flee the palace to save her life, and to clear her name, she must find her father's murderer. But the Cerealia beyond the palace wall is far different from the one she thought she knew. Corruption rules the land, and a greater conspiracy is at work, one that threatens the very balance of her world. And there's only one person corrupt enough to help Anna get to its core, Ramson Quicktone. A cunning crime lord of the Cerulean underworld, Ramson has sinister plans, though he might have met his match in Anna because in this story, the princess might be the most dangerous player of all. The Conjurers: Rise of the Shadow by Brian Anderson. After Their parents vanish, Alex and Emma are sent to live with strict Uncle Mordo, where only Emma's pet rabbit, Pimawa, keeps them company. But when flying skeletons called Ragglrocks storm their manor home, Pimawa escapes with the kids just in time. The rabbit takes them to the Conjurian, a land where magic is real and Pimawa can walk and talk. But the Conjurian is in trouble. Magic is disappearing, and the Shadow Conjurer, the mostly mysterious sorcerer of all, is on the hunt for the Eye of Deedeye, an object so powerful it could destroy everything. The battle control all magic. There's only one problem. Alex and Emma don't have any magic. The Conjurers, Rise of the Shadow by Brian Anderson. On the fringes of the Great Spice Road, Maya Tamarin works as a seamstress in her father's shop. She dreams of becoming the greatest tailor in all the land. But as a girl, the best she can hope for is to marry well. When a royal messenger summons her ailing father to court, Maya poses as his son and travels to the summer palace in his place. She knows her life is forfeit if her secret is discovered, but she'll take that risk to save her family from ruin and achieve her dream of becoming the imperial tailor. There's just one catch. Maya is one of 12 tailors vying for the job. Backstabbing and lies run rampant as the tailors compete in challenges to prove their artistry and skill. Maya's task is further complicated when she draws the unwelcome attention of the court enchanter, Idon, whose piercing eyes seem to be seeing straight through her disguise. Nothing could have prepared her for the final challenge, to sew 3 magic gowns for the emperor's reluctant bride-to-be, from the laughter of the sun, the tears of the moon, and the blood of the stars. With this impossible task, she embarks on a journey to the far reaches of the kingdom and finds more than she ever could have imagined. Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. Thrones and Bones, Frostborn by Lou Anders. Smelly trolls, the walking dead, and a fire-breathing dragon named Orm are no match for Karn and Tiana, 2 heroes with pluck and smarts. Meet Karn. He's destined to take over the family farm in Norengard. His only problem, he'd rather be playing the board game Thrones and Bones. Enter Tiana, half human, half frost giantess. She's too tall to blend in with her other humans, but too short to be taken seriously as a giant. When the family intrigues force Karn and Tiana to flee into the wilderness, they have to keep their sense of humor and their wits about them. But survival can be challenging when you're being chased by a 1,500-year-old dragon, Helltopper, the undead warrior and his undead minions, and even Uncle Wyverns, and an assortment of trolls and giants. Antics and hair-raising escapades abound in this Viking-inspired fantasy adventure as the 2 forge a friendship and journey to unknown territory. Their plan? To save their families from harm. In the walled city of Alu, Kamani wants nothing more than to become the accomplished healer her father used to be before her family was cast out of their privileged life in shame. When Alu's ruler falls deathly ill, Kamani's beautiful little sister, Nanea, is chosen as one of 3 sacred maidens to join him in the afterlife. It's an honor, a tradition, and Nanea believes it's her chance to live an even grander life than the one that was stolen from her. But Kamani sees the selection for what it really is, a death sentence. Desperate to save her sister, Kamani schemes her way into the palace. There she discovers more danger lurking in the sandstone corridors than she could have ever imagined, and that her own life and heart are at stake. But Kamani will stop at nothing to dig up the palace's buried secrets, even if it means sacrificing everything, including herself. Grave Maidens by Kelly Kuhn. Discover the Monsters Under Your Bed with The Creakers by Tom Fletcher. Imagine waking up to a world with no parents. That's exactly what happens to Lucy Dungston. She's the hero of the story, but she doesn't know it yet. While all the kids in her town are running wild, Lucy is coming up with a plan to find out what's going on. Then, creak. Late one night, creak. Lucy spots 4 mysterious creatures creeping under her bed. These slimy, trash-eating mischief makers know exactly where their parents went. It stinks that Danny's older brother just moved out and went to college. But you know what's worse? He left behind an angry ghost in his room. With the help of his friends Nat and Gus, Danny interviews everyone in his Brooklyn neighborhood. Is it an Arabian ghoul? A Korean Gwishin? A Polish haunting? Maybe the answer lies with Danny's own Bubby and her tales of Dibuk, a Jewish spirit. In the end, one thing is certain: a good night's rest is hard to get when a ghost is around. Lucy Crisp and the Vanishing House by Janet Hill. It's been a year since Lucy graduated from high school, and she still hasn't found her calling. That is, until she's accepted into an exclusive arts college called Ladywick Lodge. Lucy moves to Esther Wren, the charming little town where it's based, and stays in the house her father buys as an investment, a magnificent building in 1876. The house has history and personality, perhaps too much personality. Strange things start happening. Lucy hears voices and footsteps in empty rooms. She sees people and things that should not be there. What's worse is that the strange events are not restricted to her house. Lucy begins to understand that the town and its inhabitants are hiding many secrets, and Ladywick is at the center. As the eerie happenings escalate, Lucy fears she is being threatened, but she is determined not to let fairy potions, spells, and talk of witchcraft scare her away. Fantasy and Magic. Did you see a book you'd like to read? Visit the library's Schoology page for the request form. Eagle Staff Prime is starting to deliver this week. I'd love to get a book in your hands.